You're listening to Court Reserve Unscripted with me, Ashley Owens. There he is.
There we go. Can you hear me all right, Ashley?
Sounds good. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good. So good to have you join our team last week and talk all things tournaments and leagues. What's happening in the Swish world these days?
Oh, well, it was great to be there in Florida. Super fun to meet a lot of the Court Reserve team and a lot of great clubs, and that was an excellent event. So we appreciate that opportunity and look forward to many more. Things are well in Swish. It's been a great start to the new year, and it's kind of crazy that we're already in a new month. Like the whole it's a new year is over. It's like we're into February already. Um, so anyways, things are well with us. We're still focused on our core things, which is just working with a lot of clubs and facilitating a lot of great tournaments, often with our club partners. Think things will be a little bit more international in 2026 than they already have been, which is kind of fun, but that's what we're up to.
So tell me about, I hear there's a new like Swish big like national event that you guys are running that clubs can participate in. I would love to hear about that.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the Interclub Championship. So we are facilitating an Interclub Championship. It's going to be in Florida, November 13th and 14th. So dates are already finalized. This is locked in. We've got a lot of teams playing in interclub leagues that'll start qualifying as early as this spring season. It's going to be at the Fort Pickleball Resort for 2026. It'll be a 2-day event. And the format is you need at least 6 players on your team. So 3 doubles lines. You can have as many subs as you would like. So you can sub people in and out. And we'll have it for likely 5 or 6 skill levels, but we've already locked in 3-0, 3-5, 4-0, 4-5 plus, but it'll probably be a 5-0 and a 2-5 on both ends there. And it's just going to be hundreds of clubs from all over the US, maybe a few international as well. And it's like, do you love pickleball? Do you play at a club? Like, put your club's name on a shirt and come play against people from Arizona, Delaware, Hawaii, wherever it is. It's going to be great. So we're
That's
excited for it.
awesome. It's everybody's dream, right? Especially when you
Mhm.
think you're, really good at your sport, and now you don't even have to be on the tour. You can be on the Swish tour and end
You
up in
gotta
Fort
you gotta
Lauderdale.
prove it. I know. Well, we're telling people like we're gonna have to settle a lot of debates, because sometimes you get into this whole, well, a 3-0 in Florida is like a 3-5 anywhere else. Like in Florida, it's just a little notch higher. And so we're gonna say, you know what? Come prove it. But in the most fun and just classy event. It's gonna be great people, great competition. And so yeah, you play in an interclub league in your city to qualify throughout the year, and then you can play in the nationals. It'll be fun.
That's so cool. That's a great idea. What do you
Mhm.
think takes running a tournament to make it like a fan favorite, right? I mean, a club can run a club tournament and it can make a lot of revenue for the club. It can, out market clubs down the road because people will come find your club and play. But what, in your opinion, and you've been doing this for, several years now, what makes a great tournament for a player?
Yeah, that's a great question. There are a couple different things. I would say one of them is just experience oriented, right? I think tournaments have already evolved to the point where universally people know if people are going to pay to play in a tournament, they're guaranteed a minimum number of games. I think things have healthily shifted to where the tournament setup is in a good spot. Everyone gets a lot of games is usually the format, and that's helpful. But now people are doing more exciting things where they're giving out, like, for example, when we run tournaments with clubs, we'll do a prize if you hit an ATP or if you hit a successful Ernie or if you get bageled 11-0 on the losing end. Any one of those 3 things, you get to go over to the prize basket and pick out a prize. So like just fun things that it's like that, that's fun, but that doesn't happen when you just hop into the club for a clinic or other things, right? But when it's a one big tournament, right? That's what it's about. It's way more than just this is high stakes and competitive. There's ambiance, there's prizes, there's photos and everything. clubs are getting very creative with what they do, and so that's one thing that we see. Um, and then I think that formats play an important part in it. I mean, MLP style is great. The Duper team does a great official minor league national championship. People are doing kind of spin off of MLP style. The World Cup is a great example. So, mixing it up every once in a while with a unique format, always fun.
I love that. Yeah, I've been bageled before. I could have been to the prize basket for sure.
And no one will ask you, like, how did you get that prize? And you just say, well, you got to be good to get it. And,
Yeah,
that's your story to tell.
that's
So
right. You got to sign up to play.
yeah.
So at Old Coast Pickleball, we use Swish to run our leagues. And it's easy because we have that integration in CourtReserve. We register people, we hit the sync to Swish, all the players go in, makes it so easy for so many of our round robins. What do you think are some of the most creative round robins or leagues that you guys are working with right now?
Oh, that's a great question. There's a lot of different good ones that we see. I think that a shout out should be given to Pickleplex. They run a fun 7-team event where you bring a partner. They do it off total points. This is a great one because how recently was it that you guys launched your team registration? I know clubs have been have
Oh,
been loving
wow.
that.
Yeah, it's been a couple
Um,
months now for
okay,
sure.
yeah, it's been a
Mhm.
while. So they love that. So you pick your partner, you stay with your partner. A lot of programming is rotating partner, which is fun, but it's fun every once in a while to do set partner one. So you start with your partner, 7 teams, you play everyone, everyone gets to sit once because you have an odd number, so you get a break sometime throughout it, and then it's just total points. Hop on the stadium or the podium, and they post a picture from their Instagram and tag the winners every single time that they do it. So that's fun, right? I mean, who doesn't love, even though it wasn't like a super large tournament, like no one's going to say no to their photo on the podium. So that's a really fun one. It's really, really great. People are doing that. Um, I'm trying to think what else is exciting. I think probably one of the most popular is just short 5-week leagues. In
Mm.
Swish, we call it cumulative leaderboard league. It's another one that can sync from CourtReserve to Swish. And I think it's interesting. People are moving towards shorter leagues. 5 weeks is the average when we run the data with all our clubs. 5 weeks is the average because it's unintimidating, right? It's like 5 weeks. I could do that, right? I'll sign up. So I think that's fun. Clubs are doing shorter leagues, doing them a little bit more often and getting higher participation. So that's fun.
It makes a lot of sense because sometimes, I mean, growing up in the tennis world, you could play when we were in North Carolina, you had your summer league, fall league, winter league, but here in Florida, the tennis league that I'm in, it's like 32 weeks out of the year and it's just so long of a time frame.
It's a lot to swallow.
Yeah, it's like, so I love the 5 or the 7 week because there's an end goal. Somebody's going to come out on top at the end, right? And then you can find a new partner or pony up for a different league. And so I love that. What about pricing? What have you seen in clubs? I feel like the pricing is a little more strategical now than it was a couple of years ago because in the beginning, I had seen people pay $200, $300 for, 6 or 8 week leagues. What are you
Mhm.
seeing now in the pickleball world?
Yeah, it's scaled back a little bit on that pricing. I would still say more often than not, and to a decent extent, people like to pay for the league. They like to join the league, although there's a lot of fun opt-in, opt-out ladders and stuff. So there's great options no matter what you want to do. But people are doing closer to maybe like $100, right? Instead of the $200, $300. And every market's different, right? So you take that as a club and depending on where you are, increase or decrease it. Each club knows their market, but it's scaling back a little bit. Um, but that's one of the nice things about shorter leagues too, is it's not like you're sacrificing as much revenue because you're doing them more frequently. So it's a little bit easier for players to get involved with a lower price. There's not so much sticker shock. And if they love it, which they always do, then they'll play more of them in a 12-month period. So
That's right. Have you seen like middle school, junior high, high school leagues popping up anywhere, or is this still a majority of the adults playing in the leagues?
Juniors are popping up a ton. One of the things that I think pickleball and tennis facilities are starting to tap into, which we want to help grow more, is there's a increasing demand for just homeschool students, and that
Yes.
is like a very prime market for middle of the day, right? Late morning, early afternoon. We see a lot of programs where they're marketing towards homeschool students, like come out, socialize, recreate, get some physical activity. I think that's a brilliant market in clubs. If you're in especially a residential area, that's something you should maybe think about in your targeted marketing and other things. So that is one area. Juniors in general is growing a ton. It's if you run a tournament at your club, you'll start to see. Usually they would just say, like, if you're a junior, you've got to play up, but there's usually enough to field a junior specific division. And then you know how it is. They're 14 and they don't get tired, so they'll play in the juniors and the adult one anyways and beat everyone. I mean, at the World Cup, I got smoked. I made the podium in the men's singles. It was good. It was men's singles 5-0, but first place was a 14 or 15-year-old from India, really good. Second place was a junior from Texas, amazing. They both whooped me. And I'm even pretty young, right? So, but the juniors are going to take over the sport sooner rather than later. They're good, but yeah, lots of
So
involvement.
what you're saying is that in pickleball, we're going to have to learn to swallow our pride at a very young age
Hmm.
when we play
Yeah.
against the youngsters.
Hmm.
So, what do you think's next for Swish? I mean, you guys are already such a powerful brand when it comes to tournament and leagues, and we love working with you guys. And what's next?
Yeah, that's a great question. So a couple of things. I had some good conversations with a lot of the clubs at the Catalyst in Florida, who we've worked with some of them for years, and they're like, "This has been awesome. Tell me what's new, what's exciting in the pickleball world." You've already highlighted one of the exciting things, which is the Interclub League, which I would highlight again, and to any club that's out there on Swish or Court Reserve, jump in that. It's going to be really fun. Um, I think that we'll see some more international pathways. I mentioned that earlier that in 2020 Swish is going to be much more international. We've got our website's already translated. The app is coming out in about 13 different languages, I believe quarter 1 this year. And those players, they want to come and play against people in the US. And so a lot of the international tournaments like the World Cup, Minor League National Championship, the Swish Interclub National Championship, you're going to see a lot more people traveling internationally to play in these events. So that's a focus of ours, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Um, I think another big one is tournaments. And they're evolving. There's a little bit of saturation, so people are focused a little bit more on medium-sized tournaments, right? Kind of 100 to 200 people are becoming the most stable model, and I think that that's healthy. Um, so with tournaments, we're always adding new formats for people to be able to mix it up, do a variety of different things. I know hopefully very soon, Swiss tournaments and Court Reserve will have some added integrations and give clubs a excellent tournament model. So that'll be fun. And yeah, I think that's a big part of it. Member only tournaments are becoming very fun as well, just as an incentive to get people to, if you feel a part of this community, become a member, right? It's worth it. And so I think that is fun to do a lot of member, private tournaments here and there. And those are those are a few of many in this quickly evolving industry that we're in. So.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think that tennis and even paddle, because everybody talks about paddle coming to the US now,
Mhm.
do you think that tennis and paddle are going to do, the tournament side, what pickleball's doing?
I wonder. I have to pause real quick and ask you, have you officially called it paddle or padel? Because I had this conversation at the Catalyst and it was a split room.
Well, I've been
I,
told that if you're from Europe, you would say paddle
mm,
because it's the way you actually pronounce the word, but in
right?
America, you would call it paddle. So,
Paddle.
I mean, there's
I
lots of
know.
different, I mean, like who's right? I don't know who's right. I'm Southern. I'm going with paddle.
Paddle is great. Yeah, that's just an ongoing conversation we have. But I do think paddle's interesting. I've played a little bit, and I like you guys, right? I come from a tennis background, and I still love it. Still play a lot of tennis. And actually, I think paddle is closer to tennis than maybe pickleball is. I mean,
Yeah.
it's essentially the same ball, same
Yep.
same scoring and everything. Um, yeah, it's interesting. I think they will continue to converge. I think it'll be slower than maybe we expect, but I think the experience of all three will converge. And part of that is if you play one racket sport, you usually are attracted to it not simply because you're addicted to pickleball and only pickleball, but you become a fan of the health and the lifestyle and the community. And you can get all three of those things by playing tennis or paddle as well. It doesn't have to be pickleball. So I think racket sports have some of the highest cross-pollination in all of recreation in general, not just sports. And because of that, I think that we'll see programming at clubs, right? People will want to see similar types of activities. Like I did this MLP and pickleball. Does paddle have anything that's team oriented? Tennis obviously has, lots. It's the forerunner of all the racket sports. But that's what I'd say. I think just the programming will converge because people will be attracted to just the health and lifestyle of racket sports in general.
I love that. And you're right. The community's everywhere. It's all what you build into it for sure. So, well, thanks again for joining us on Unscripted today. It's good to catch up with you, and we'll see you soon at another Catalyst event.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ashley, and the entire Court Reserve team.
Take
Appreciate
care.
it.
Thanks for listening to this podcast. If you'd like to learn more about how Court Reserve became the go to club management software for racket and paddle sport clubs, come say hello over on our website. There's a link in the show notes.